This new piece of technology will help doctors here at Blackpool Victoria Hospital identify signs of neck and head cancer quicker. After raising £30,000 in less than 6 months, the Swallows Head and Neck Support Group, along with Blue Skies, were able to donate the scanner in hopes to help improve care for patients here in the hospital. Helping patients means a lot to the Swallows' Chief Executive, Chris Curtis, as he is currently being treated for throat cancer himself.
I was at my consultation in the January this year, and Mr. Nygam said one of the machines had broken down and it was going to cost £31,000 to replace it. And I said, well, as a Swallows local charity, we'll go out and raise the money. I then obviously started doing some research of how we were going to raise the money, contacted Rebecca, and then the rest is history between the two of us. We've now got a lovely machine in the hospital, so over to Rebecca to say what she was doing.
Yeah, when we spoke to Chris and Mr. Nygam as well, we realised there was a real need for this in the hospital, which would help enhance the patient care that they receive while they're under our care. So this was a very worthwhile project for us to get on board with, and we're very pleased and privileged to have worked with Chris and the Swallows to be able to provide this really good piece of kit.
So this machine creates early diagnosis, whereas you go in today, have a lump on your throat or have something, they can inject it, do your biopsy, and being told you're in treatment next week. And that can save people's lives. So 31,000 to save someone's life is just small change. So yeah, it's a life-saving piece of machinery. And the hospital needs lots of those machineries, and the NHS do a fantastic job. But without Blue Skies and other charities, they wouldn't have these types of machines. So it's so important that we get behind those and let the NHS do what they're good at, and that is make people live through cancer. And between us all, we will then beat cancer.
Survival rates for head and neck cancer is over 75% if it's diagnosed early, and the scanner is a vital piece of equipment that will help doctors give patients that early diagnosis.
The machine we had previously was very unreliable, it was very old, kept breaking down, so patients had to be sent away and brought back again for ultrasound. Notice you have a reliable method, patient comes in and leaves the room with a diagnosis most of the time. So in conjunction with other tests that we do over here, patients come here with neck lumps. That's what we specialize in this clinic. So they have examination, clinical examination, they have an ultrasound scan, they have a needle test, they have an endoscopy all at one sitting. And the vast majority know exactly what's wrong with them before they leave.
Technology moves on all the time, and these machines every 5 or 7 years generally need to be replaced, basically part because they do tend to wear out to some extent, but technology moves on and things improve. And a lot of the patients we do see have lumps and are worried, but actually turn out not to have anything wrong with them. And with this machine we can look at those lumps, and in the majority of the cases we can say there and then there's nothing to worry about. You go home and just live your life normally, and the patient's satisfied and then discharged. Occasionally we have to do a further needle test. But the better the resolution we have in the machines, and this is a very good one, the higher confidence we have in making that diagnosis, and the better we can reassure patients.
But Chris is not stopping, as he is now looking ahead to his next challenge to raise £78,000 for a laser machine that will enable doctors to remove cancerous tumours without opening their head or neck.
78,000 is not a lot of money in the bigger scale of things, but again, if it enhances that patient's experience, it's needed. And again, if it's a lifesaver, it's worth buying and it's worth going that extra mile. And I think that's what we need to do. So let's bring it on. 2016.
Holly Jones, That's Lancashire, Blackpool.
I'm joined in the studio now by Chris Curtis, the Chief Executive of the Swallows, to tell us more about the charity and the work they're doing. Chris, thank you very much for joining me. I guess first and foremost, can you just tell me a little bit more about the work the Swallows does?
Yeah, the Swallows look after patients and their families with throat cancer and head and neck cancer. We also donate money to the hospitals and we look after the hospitals, but our main job role is to support patients that have cancer.
Now, I understand this is a charity very close to home. Can you just share your story with us, Chris?
Yeah, my story started in Friday the 13th at 11 o'clock on May 2011 when I was diagnosed with throat cancer. Last thing I was expecting, I had a little lump, got bigger and bigger, and then I went to the doctors, and then the next thing I'm being told a week later that I've got throat cancer. And then I went through all the treatment, which was great, but I very realised that the NHS, as good as they are, can't give you the support outside the hospital. So myself and a few of the other lads got together and we started just talking to each other like fellas do, and from that the Swallows was born, because we realised that we needed support for people outside, for people that had been there, wore the t-shirt, so we could talk to people at different stages to give us all hope, really. And that's why the Swallows was born, from my own experience of having throat cancer.
Now, I understand that the charity has done some extraordinary work already, but your next project is you're looking to raise £78,000 for a vital piece of equipment. Can you just tell us a little bit more about this project and what you're raising funds for?
Early diagnosis with throat cancer or any cancer is very, very important, and more so with throat cancer, because if you get early diagnosis, 75% of people will survive. So with the scanner and obviously what we've just done, and now this next piece of equipment, it allows them to go into the neck or where the tumour is. And actually, if you imagine a pen, they can just drill a small hole into the neck and go in, extract the tumour and bring the tumour out. So it allows them to get the tumour at an even earlier stage. And again, if they can get the tumour out at an early stage, then more people survive. So yeah, £78,000 a lot of money, but on the basis of saving someone's life, it's not a lot of money. And as a small charity, we decided that we're going to go and try and raise £78,000.
Now, statistically, Blackpool is one of the worst hit regions for throat cancer. So this piece of equipment is actually vital. Yeah,
well, Blackpool Victoria Hospital look after the whole of Lancashire. If you've got throat cancer, you end up either at Preston, if you're going to have your voice box removed, or if you've got tumours around the neck, you end up at Blackpool. So the whole of Lancashire will benefit from it. And Lancashire have the most throat cancers than anywhere else in the UK. So it is important that we have that. We have the highest breast cancer in the UK in this area, and we have the highest throat cancer in this area. So we need to make sure we've got the support and the equipment to help people survive cancer. So yeah, it's important.
Chris, for anybody out there who has concerns that they've got a sore throat, they're thinking they may have some symptoms of throat cancer, what piece of advice would you give to them?
Well, we all see the adverts. If you've had a constant cough, go and see your doctor, and we all ignore it, especially fellas. And 90% of people with throat cancer are male. So, you know, we ignore it. So if you have a regular cough, go and see your doctor. If you feel a small lump, go and see your doctor. If you start struggling to swallow, go and see your doctor. And if you suddenly start feeling tired and you're over the age of 40, don't just put it down to your age, go and see your doctor. All those symptoms are what I had, and I ignored them and ignored them. And I was a week away from being inoperable. So, bless them, my wife got me to the doctor, and within a week I was in treatment. If I'd have left it another week, the story could have been different. And I've lost a lot of good friends that I've been on this journey with because it was late diagnosis. So I would tell anyone, as soon as you feel anything or feel anything, get to your doctor. It takes you 30 seconds to be tight. And if you're at your dentist, ask your dentist to investigate your mouth, because it'll take 45 seconds for the dentist to look inside your mouth. And if he sees something, he'll get you to the specialist.
Well, Chris, thank you very much for that sound advice, and best of luck with the charity. Thank you.
Thank you.